Hello and welcome to my channel, Home with Sarah Jane. If you are new here, I'm a homeschooling mom to two girls, and I like to share about all things homeschooling and homemaking. If this isn't your first visit, welcome back. I really appreciate you stopping by once again. In today's video, I'm sharing 7 easy Valentine's Day treats, so stick around. So we are jumping right into it today, and I am starting off with chocolate cake truffles. Now, here are all the ingredients you need to make this recipe. It starts off with a box of chocolate fudge cake mix, some water, and the back of the box for the cake said oil, but I'm using butter, and then some eggs for the cake mix. Now, after you bake the cake, you are going to need 8 ounces of cream cheese, 2 cups of chocolate melts or chocolate chips, and sprinkles. I mean, sprinkles are optional. I just think they're cute, and I'm using these nice festive Valentine's Day colors. So now I'm just making this cake according to the package instructions. Now I do want to mention that anytime I use a box cake mix, I always just make little changes. So like in this one, like I mentioned earlier, I am using butter instead of oil. And also I always add in an extra egg than what the box or the recipe calls for. I just think that it makes the box cake mix taste a little bit more homemade, a little bit more decadent. So that's what I did here today. And when you bake this, you want to make sure that you give it enough time to cool once it comes out of the oven, because you do not want to be working with a hot cake here, especially when you're trying to incorporate the cream cheese. You do not want it to you don't want it to melt the cream cheese. You want to make it creamy, if that makes sense. So you did witness me cut this cake in half because I decided at the last minute that I wanted to cut this recipe in half. So I'm only using half of the cake and 4 ounces of cream cheese here. And I'm just really trying to incorporate the two together to make this creamy consistency, which I found easier to do by using my hands instead of the hand mixer. But I will be using the rest of that cake later in this video for a different recipe. I was just realizing that I'm making 7 treats today. I should probably cut some of these in half. So this mixture is nice and incorporated and nice and creamy and smooth. So now I'm going to go ahead and shape the truffles. So I'm using a 1-inch cookie scoop to form these little balls. And as you can see, even though I cut this recipe in half, it still made a ton of truffles. And I thought these truffles were a really good size. So if I would have made the entire cake into truffles, I would have had way too many. Now, I did freeze these for 30 minutes before I dipped them in chocolate, just so that it was easier to work with. But I do want to mention that because these are frozen when you're dipping them, the chocolate hardens so fast that you have to work pretty quickly if you want to put sprinkles on them. Now, for some reason, I decided I only wanted sprinkles on half of them. I don't know why, but that's what I did. I put sprinkles on half of these and then I left the other ones plain. You could definitely decorate these in all different ways. You know, you can use, different colored chocolates, different sprinkles. You don't have to decorate them at all. You could do whatever you want here. Just be creative. Have fun with it, But this is how they turned out. I thought that these were really good. They were really tasty. I did not taste the cream cheese in the truffle at all. So I was thinking I was going to. I mean, I wasn't disappointed or anything. They were still good, but you don't really taste the cream cheese. It just tastes like a creamy cake covered in chocolate. So there's that. They were tasty. So now I am moving on to the chocolate berry bites. Now this is a really simple recipe. This is a perfect one for kids to help out on because it is so simple and easy. But all you need is some fresh fruit. I'm using blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries today. And these are already washed and dried. And then I'm going to be melting down some more chocolate. This is semi-sweet chocolate, but you can use whatever chocolate you like. And then Lydia, my 11-year-old, she wanted to add sprinkles. So we're adding sprinkles to this one. Now this is a great one to mix up a whole bunch of different flavors here. I mean, you can add chopped nuts, chopped pretzels, you can really do whatever flavors you like here. I'm just kind of sticking more to what my kids wanted here. That's why there's no chopped nuts here. But yeah, so these are really easy to make. So all you do is you melt down your chocolate, and instead of dipping your fruit in the chocolate, you just make these little chocolate puddles That's what I'm going to call them, chocolate puddles. And you just add your fruit on top. You can drizzle it with chocolate, add sprinkles, again, add nuts or pretzels, anything like that to it. And you have these like little bite-sized little treats that are just so cute and festive. And these are really easy for your kids to make, especially if you have really young kids. Like if you have a child that really wants to get in the kitchen and you need an easy recipe for them, this would be a really fun one for you guys to put together. Again, you would want to melt the chocolate and chop the berries, but they could do all the decorating and really help out and have a lot of fun with it. I mean, it gives your child the opportunity to make a sweet treat, you know, for like a sibling or, you know, just, you know, someone they care about. They can make their own homemade Valentine's Day treats this way. Now, Lydia is helping me out here, and she's making a few special for her dad and her sister, and we just had a ton of fun. These came out so cute. They were really easy to make. And all you do is just let them set. That's it. Like these took us like 5 minutes to make. That was it. These were so fast. This is how they came out. They were super cute. And again, so many flavors and options you could do here. Really easy with kids. And Lydia made sure that we did not have any chocolate getting wasted. So you can see her down there finishing off the chocolate from the bowl. Next up, I have the strawberry Danish hearts. And all you need for these is 8 ounces of cream cheese at room temperature, 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 sheets of puff pastry thawed. Make sure it is thawed. You need 1 cup of fresh strawberries, 1 egg. We will be using this as an egg wash. We are going to need 3 tablespoons of turbinado sugar. We call this crunchy sugar in my house. And then you also need 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. Honestly, you don't have to measure out the powdered sugar. It's just for dusting at the end, but that's what the recipe says is 1/4 cup. Anyway, I am going to throw together the cream cheese mixture. Super simple. It is just the granulated sugar, cream cheese, and vanilla extract. And I'm just going to whip this together until it's nice and creamy. And once this is all done, I'm going to go ahead and start unrolling my puff pastry. Now you do want to be careful when you are unrolling this. You don't want to tear it, and it can tear sometimes. So just be careful. But all I'm going to do here is just try and get the little creases and folds out of the dough. I'm not really trying to make it thinner. I'm just trying to smooth it out, I guess you can say, so that I can use my cookie cutter on it a little bit easier. So now all I'm going to do is cut out my Danishes, I guess you can say, the shape I want them. I'm using this really large heart cookie cutter, but you can definitely just cut these into squares. They would still taste just as good and still be just as beautiful. But because I already had these, I'm going to go ahead and turn them into hearts because it's Valentine's Day. Now, I did end up using 2 different size cookie cutters because once I cut out the first sheet of hearts, I was like, I think I want my Danish to be a little bit bigger. So I did grab a slightly bigger cookie cutter for this one. As you can see here, it is a little bit larger. I was able to get, I think, 5 out of this one. And I really did like the larger size, but it had nothing to do with flavor. It was just, I got more Danish, you know? So that is why I like the bigger one better. Now, another thing you can do is you can make your own puff pastry. I just have not perfected a recipe for puff pastry, and I've always found that the store-bought one is so much better than what I have made from scratch in the past, and that is why I like to stick with the store-bought one for now. But I'm just slicing up these strawberries kind of willy-nilly. I really had no plan when it came to slicing the strawberries, but I have seen some people make some really cute shapes out of their strawberries and add them to their Danishes and stuff like that, and to their pastries, and it just, you know, looks cute. Like they'll cut their strawberries into hearts or something like that, or they'll fan them out really beautiful. Yeah, I didn't do any of that, guys. I'm keeping it rustic over here by just like chopping them smaller. So now I'm just adding the cream cheese mixture on top of the puff pastry, and I'm just going to try and smooth it out as best as I can. And when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're leaving like a little border of puff pastry around the cream cheese. You know, just make sure you do that because you got to add your little egg wash and you got to add your, you know, crunchy sugar and all of that. So leave that little border around. But now all I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start adding some of these diced strawberries on top. And as you can see, yeah, some of them are diced, some of them are sliced. I was so willy-nilly on the strawberries here, guys. But I mean, you can make them look nicer if you want to. to be honest, I still thought they came out really cute, even though my strawberries are willy-nilly. But these were really easy to make, as you can see, just a couple of steps, but I'm using store-bought puff pastry. I'm using a really simple cream cheese mixture here and just some fresh fruit. And what is so awesome about this recipe is that you don't even have to just use strawberries. You can add blueberries or blackberries, raspberries, whatever fresh fruit you want. You can even use pie filling or jam and jellies here, and it would be really, really good. All you're doing is changing up the fruit, you know? So this can work on so many levels, so many different flavors. That's why I love this. This is like one of my new go-to like little pastry recipes. This would make a really good like Mother's Day brunch pastry idea. I mean, these are just so delicious, but I just added that little egg wash and I'm just sprinkling on some of that crunchy sugar, turbinado sugar on here. And then I just bake them for about 15 minutes. So this is what they look like straight from the oven. But now I'm going to go ahead and just, you know, sprinkle them with the powdered sugar. I did not want to add too much. So that's why you can see me trying to be really careful here. But look how cute these came out. These are so adorable. I can't even, you guys, these are so cute. I love them so much. I'm really looking forward to making these again. But now I am moving on to the Easy Black Forest cake. And all you need for this one is just a box of chocolate cake mix, some cherry pie filling, and some whipped cream. Now, this is the rest of the cake that I made earlier, so I don't waste it. And this whipped cream I actually made homemade, but you can definitely buy store-bought whipped cream as well to make it even easier. Now, I'm going to be serving this two different ways. One way, the first way, the one that I'm showing you right now, is how I'm going to be serving it to my kids for Valentine's Day. And that is just in a cute little fancy cup. So I'm going to be making a little layered dessert for them in this cup. I'm just going to add some cake, some whipped cream, and then some cherries. And then I'm just going to continue to make these layers until the cup is full. And that is how I'm going to make it for my girls. Now, I know that with a classic Black Forest cake, you would use fresh cherries and, you know, there's a little bit more, I guess you could say, technique involved with making the cake. But again, this is just a shortcut, easy version of a Black Forest cake. And now I am making the cake the way I'm going to serve it to my husband. So I am just cutting out little cake pieces into hearts, and don't throw away the scrap cakes. You can definitely snack on those later. But I am just going to cover this with whipped cream and then some cherries. And then I'm just going to add a little top to the cake. And I thought this came out so pretty. Now, this can definitely be served as a dessert for two, but in our case, that's not what happened. So here it is, the way that I'll be serving it to my girls. Again, it's not a different recipe. It's just being plated differently. And then this is what I'll be making for my husband and myself. And this is what we are going to have for after our dinner on Valentine's Day. Now, we are going to be moving on to peanut butter chocolate heart cookies. Now, this is just a pre-packaged peanut butter cookie mix that I purchased, and that package called for oil and water. And then I am going to be using these chocolate hearts. Now, this is kind of like an easy version to like those peanut butter blossom cookies or peanut butter kiss cookies that a lot of people make around the holidays. But all I'm doing is I'm making this cookie recipe according to the package. Again, you can definitely use your own peanut butter cookie recipe here. And then I'm just using a really large cookie scoop to make really large cookies. I think I only made 4 cookies out of this pack. And then I'm just going to bake them partially. Once they are almost done, I'm just going to smush a little chocolate heart on top and bake them for the last, 2 minutes or so. Now, you can just serve them just like this and they are super cute, but my kids, and by kids, I mean Lydia, my youngest, asked if I could shape the cookie like a heart as well. So I took that same old cookie cutter I've been using all day, and I just kind of made a heart-shaped peanut butter cookie with the cute little chocolate on top. So that's how these ones came out. These are super simple as well, and something that you can make really easily with a child because it's just like a pre-packaged cookie dough mix that I used. But again, you can make them from scratch. Now, last up, I saved this one for last because I just made these around Christmas time, but my kids wanted these again. They've been loving them. I am making chocolate covered cookies and pretzels. Now, I decided to kind of change it up a little bit here, and I am adding these chocolate sandwich cookies onto like a little popsicle stick, or yeah, I guess a popsicle stick, right? Lollipop stick? Popsicle stick? No, a popsicle stick is different. A lollipop stick or cake pop stick. There we go. I don't know why that took me that long, but all I'm doing is I melted the chocolate in the microwave. I'm using white chocolate because that's what my kids preferred. And I'm just dipping the pretzels halfway in the chocolate and just sprinkling the same old sprinkles I've been using all day. But my kids love these. I only make them usually like 10 or so at a time so that, you know, we have like a good amount, but we don't have like a crazy amount of them either, you know, because we love them so much. But these are just really fun. And again, an easy treat that your kids can help you make as well, because it's just dipping the pretzels in chocolate and decorating them. I did have some leftover heart sprinkles from our Grinch party this year. So I did use some of those as well. And I just thought they came out cute. Now, these were fun. I love these. I loved putting them on the little, did we decide on popsicle stick or lollipop stick? Pretty sure it's a lollipop stick now that I'm looking at it. So I loved putting these on the little lollipop stick. They were just so fun. You can make like a little bouquet of chocolate covered cookies here. I mean, so cute, right? There's so many things you can do with these, but my kids really love these. They love just these chocolate sandwich cookies dipped in white chocolate and, you know, cute little sprinkles. But these are my kids' favorite here are the pretzels and the chocolate covered cookies. So easy to make. So these are definitely a go-to if you're in a pinch and you don't have a lot of time. But that is it for today. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. If you try any of these recipes, let me know. Did you like them? Maybe you didn't. Let me know that too. I'm okay with that. Let me know how you feel about these. But as always, thank you so much for stopping by. You have a great day. Bye.